Matt Bernier with the DRFBets race of the day for Sunday, June the 30th. Race number 8 from Woodbine. It's a grade 3 event. It's the Dominion Day, a mile and a quarter on the main track. Before we dive into the field, head on over to bets.drf.com. Take a look at all the latest and greatest as far as sign-up offers are concerned, existing member offers, all sorts of good stuff. Bets.drf.com is where you need to go for all the details. Let's take a look at the field. It's a short field. Only 6 of them will be going the 10 furlong distance in the Dominion Day on Sunday afternoon. Head on over to the Race of the Day page on DRF.com where you can download those free formulator past performances, handicap along with me as I go through the field in post position order. We begin with Super Tap at 2-1 on the morning line from Mark Casse, the number 1. Perfect 2 for 2 on synthetic. That's a bit of a theme with these 6 horses. The synthetic is really their best footing, it seems anyway. A number of them are undefeated or have done very, very well, including Super Tapit, a winner of the Eclipse most recently. 95 buyer, highest last out in the field. Are you kidding me? The third place finisher, who also runs in the Dominion Day on Sunday, he came back and earned a 92 buyer. The fourth place finisher came back and earned a 93 on turf. Plenty to like about Super Tapit. Let's talk about the Timeform US Pace Projector, where you can see they have the 6 actually out there on the front end, but Super Tapit is right there keeping him company. That 6 is, are you kidding me? I have a hard time imagining him being on the front, but I do think part of that might be stemming from that most recent run for Are You Kidding Me? And again, we'll get to him in depth in a bit, but he was out there relatively close to a hot pace according to Timeform US, so maybe that's the race they are basing that off of. There doesn't seem to be a ton of gas in here. If I had to make a wild guess, I'm going to assume Final Copy goes to the front. And we'll talk about Final Copy in a moment, but first things first, Super Tap It. Let's take a look at that formulator fact from Mark Casse. It's a good one. Past 5 years, synthetic winner last out, second after the layoff. 15 for 59, 32 times in the money with a 221 ROI. I think you have to look at Super Tap It as a major player in here. Not totally sold about him at a mile and a quarter, but I think you have to respect him as a contender. Speaking of Final Copy, the horse that I think could be the one that cuts out the fractions, tries synthetic for the first time here for Roger Atfield on Sunday afternoon. This is a horse that it seems like his best gear, and I know he's won from sitting just off of it, but I think he's at his best when he's dictating things on the front end, more often than not when it's a slow pace. Now keep in mind, he has run at distances considerably longer than a mile and a quarter, but when I look at him, I think if you're going to try to win this race, I think you got to be a little bit aggressive with him out of the gate. You think he's going to be able to see out the distance because he typically is campaigned at a mile and a half. I think he's going to be forwardly placed. Now, the pace projector doesn't seem to agree. They have him positioned 4th early on. It's just, for me, it's an instance where I would be stunned if Final Copy is not forwardly placed, if not outright on the lead early on. I don't love his chances in here, but I can understand anyone that wants to look at him and say he's a curious pace play. Take a look at the 3 ahead by a century. This is one of the horses in here. I shouldn't say one of. Might be the only horse that I think is a little bit difficult to make on paper. The speed figures just don't stack up as favorably as some of the other big horses do. And it seems like just from a form standpoint, this horse hasn't seen the winner's circle since November of 2017 when he was a 2-year-old. For me, he is a pass in this spot. The 4 Special Force is very intriguing to me. Goes out for Kevin Attard, a perfect 3 for 3 on synthetic. Each of these 3 most recent runs, first 3 on synth, first 3 times going out for the Kevin Attard barn. From a number standpoint, I think he stacks up quite well. I don't hate the field that he ran against most recently. You have had some horses come back and do some decent things. Cooler Mike, the 3rd place finisher, he came back and earned a 93 in his next start. And keep in mind, Special Forces was well clear of the rest of the field that day, won by more than 6 lengths. But it remains to be seen. How will he stack up against better company? How will he fare against horses that are proven in graded stakes races? We'll find out. I do think Special Forces at 92 is intriguing. I picked him 2nd. The number 5, Pumpkin Rumble. He's another Kevin Attard trainee in here. He's another one with a sparkling synthetic record. He's 5 for 10 overall, 8 times in the exacta from 10 starts on synth. I just like everything about this horse. Ever since they got him to the synth, he just has taken his game to the next level. Now, if you want to say you're concerned about the layoff or whatever that may be, because we haven't seen him since early December of 2018, normally I would say fair. But boy, go through and look at this horse's record off the bench. He fires basically each and every time. He doesn't win every time, but he comes with a serious bid. The key for this horse is going to be staying relatively close to the pace, especially if you believe, like me, that probably not going to be a blistering pace. Could end up being a little bit of a sprint for home. Got to stay relatively close to the front end. I think Pumpkin Rumble at 5-2 is fair, and I think he's a major player. And we round out with the 9-year-old. It's hard not to like, Are You Kidding Me? He's an honest horse for Roger Atfield. He is not quite what he once was. He had that stretch of about 3 years from 2016 to 2018 where he was just lights out as far as all these races are concerned at Woodbine. And you know what? I'm not going to hold it against him that at 9 years old, he doesn't quite seem to be what he once was. Having said that, he's still damn good, and he still has a big chance in this race. I just think from a price standpoint, 3 to 1, 5 to 2, somewhere in that ballpark, I think he's, I don't want to say vulnerable, but I don't think he is as likely a winner as some of the other horses are in here. I respect him. I think if you want to use him in multi-race wagers, go right ahead. I'm going to take a little shot against Are You Kidding Me in the Dominion Day on Sunday with who? I'm going to go with Pumpkin Rumble, the number 5, as we take a look at my pick again. I just like everything that he's done since they've moved him over to the synth. Maybe 1.25 miles is actually a little sharp for him. He's done some good work going even longer than this, but he's fired fresh off the bench in the past. And really the key for me is going to be Eurico Rosa da Silva needs to keep him relatively close to the front because I don't think he can come from way out of it in a spot like this in a race where it doesn't seem like there's a ton of speed signed on. I went 5, 4, 1, and 6 in the 8th at Woodbine on Sunday, the DRFBets race of the day. Playing this race at Woodbine, playing any of the races at Woodbine, any races anywhere. DRFBets is the way to do it. Head on over to bets.drf.com. All the details are there for new sign-up members, existing customers, whatever the case may be. All sorts of great deals. Bets.drf.com is where you need to go. Schedule a post time for the Grade 3 Dominion Day, Sunday at Woodbine. Race number 8, 4:55 Eastern. Good luck.